What's up, fellas? Welcome back to another game making tutorial with Servi. In the last video, we added some classes to our code here, our little test code. This position class here. That was about it, but it allowed us to use the object of our character's position. We also made this keys down object here. With its different properties, just a little bit more organizing our code within this big document, and it didn't really affect too much functionally here on our game. Still just run around. There's this ball over here, but it doesn't really do anything. We're not going to make it do anything because this is really a basic game making tutorial series, and this is the last episode, I believe, of this little mini series. Because after this, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make your own game, and I'm going to be working through and making a game, basically. So that at the end, I'll have a tutorial and a game to produce for you guys. But either way, let's jump into today's topic. Basically, last time we organized our code within this document, like I said, with these objects and classes a little bit. But this document itself still looks super disorganized. There's just kind of crap all over the place. I'm not very good at commenting. I at least leave some space and, punctuate my code. That's important. But the next step is to actually organize your code into different documents. So as you can see here, we got this big thing. We're not going to do everything here in basic script.js, right? In fact, kind of want to rename basic script here. Let's rename it. Before we go any further here and complicate things, let's name this base script. Basically the same thing, but let's rename this as well. Base script, and hopefully nothing goes horribly wrong here as long as we save both ends. Does it? What's the problem? Learning as we go. Okay, let's look at the console here. Refuse to execute because its MIME type is not executable and strict MIME type checking is enabled. What? Whatever happened to my base script? It was working a second ago. Hang on, I'll cut out and figure this out. Oh, okay guys, it took me like 5 minutes to figure out that this says base skipped. I made a little typo, and that'll fix everything. So we still have this thing executing here. Let's go ahead and clean that up. Show keys down does not need to be here. In fact, there doesn't really need to be any show. Show is mostly to debug, but you can keep the function itself, obviously. Now, there's a pretty easy way here that we can turn this base script here into a lot of different scripts. That's going to be a lot more organized. Within JavaScript, in order to actually link different variables between different script documents, you're going to need to turn your script into a module, just like this. So add a type equals a module within the, I knew how to type, that is, type. Anyway, that was stupid. Within this little HTML tag here, it's the best way to do it because you're actually editing the I don't know if there's a way to do it within the JavaScript document itself, but I just did it within here. Again, that'll make this a module, so if we save, nothing happens. Still works. The thing is, now we can make a new document, call this, let's say, functions dot JS. Alright, we're going to take our first two easy little functions here, show and find. We're going to put them into functions. So what happens here? Let's get rid of them out of our main document here, base script. Save it up, and we get an error. Let's take a look. We got find.appendChild is not a function. So where is that occurring? Boxer 24. Boop boop. Yeah, we use find here and it's not defined. Find is not defined. Okay. So that's because it's in this other document, and there's no way for this document to access the functions in this one. No way for them to talk to each other. And so it's pretty easy. You basically have to Well, first let's come over here to functions, and we have to export these guys. So it's as simple as putting the word export in front of the function, and that's going to gray out. I'll grayed it out for a sec, but anyway, now that these functions are exported, they're not grayed out because they might be used somewhere else. And so this this document, you know, if we're not using these functions as they were before, they're grayed out because they're essentially not being used, and it's kind of telling you that you have functions that are, you know, functionless within your code, so to speak. Oops, meant to hit. Oh, now I can't go back. Oh, I lost my undo chain. You know, if you undo and then redo, and then you can't keep undoing. So we'll export both of these guys, and we'll come over here to wherever we had these functions. So if we say import function find, and is that all we need to do? No, I think actually no. It's like this: import find the function, and it'll format this for you automatically. Other languages do it differently, but within JavaScript, if you type import find, so this little thing here, you can type in different objects. So we're going to import both find and show from the functions, and it's going to format this slightly wrong. Instead of the dot there, you put it there, and then a .js. And so this slash is telling you it's the same kind of level within the file as base script. So if you have another script file within a folder, kind of like with images, you'll have to do the slash and then the folder name and then slash the script name. Anyway, we're still not using show here, but as long as we import find and refresh this, no, what's the problem? Can I use import statement outside a module? So I think we forgot to save. Requested module does not provide. Yeah, and we also forgot to save functions. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see these errors. Wait, so let's go ahead and the first error I got, it said we can't use this import statement here outside of a module. So that's because I forgot to save this. So it wasn't type module yet. You know, I didn't hit Control S to update that. The error we're getting right now says the requested module does not provide. That's because we haven't saved functions yet. So we'll save that, and everything is happy and works, no errors. Let's go back to our game. Of course, nothing's going to change, but everything still works, and we got our functions removed from the main document. Let's start to clean it up a little more. What else do we have here? We've got, because we don't really need anything to happen on this main document. There's a couple things that should happen on this main document, like the event listeners. We'll keep. So just give me one moment to think about this for a sec. All right, let's just go through here and see what we can remove from our base script, if we can kind of get everything out of here. Let body, so all this document construction stuff, let's throw this, and we'll say document construction. I don't know. Simple names are, you know, easy to, oh, no, that's not what I want. .js, will it work? Or will it corrupt the file? Oh, that seemed to work. Oh my god, what the, no, this is not, that does not seem like the right type of document. Just a text file? Why am I getting all this nonsense? Okay, so anything we need to export out of here that we're accessing still in the base script? No, because everything that's made in here, let's see, will this still work? I don't think this changes anything, right? Because the script is still going to run, and it's just going to make things on the document itself, and those things can be accessed later, because basically if you're importing stuff within JavaScript, so here's a little teaching moment. So we're exporting and importing all this stuff within JavaScript, you know, functions, variables, JavaScript objects. However, if you work on the actual document object matrix, or whatever it's called, the DOM, and actual HTML elements, you can access those from any script, right? So this document construction should be fine here. All it's doing is appending the container to the body and setting all the container's properties. And so we can remove some more stuff. What's next? We already imported, so the import should be kind of the first lines of whatever script you're running, because you can have stuff imported and exported between different scripts. It can get a little complicated. Let's see, Boxer, Imager. We can put these in functions as well. And you know, we can split functions into a lot of different categories. Most of your scripts are going to be a lot of functions. You know, your script is going to be 90-something% functions and then 10% using those functions and actually calling the function. So we have to import now. What were those functions we just took? Boxer and Imager. Trying to explain while also coding. And it's late, guys. That's okay. Boxer and Imager are being used. So if we run this, what's the error? Oh, we didn't refresh functions. That's important. And oh, we actually didn't. We might have refreshed it. We didn't do this. Here, let me just try to get this in the perfect spot here. Shrink it down a tiny bit. Is that okay? You guys still see? So you guys can see the error, but also see my code. It's kind of what I'm seeing as well, but OBS doesn't give you exactly what you're seeing. You have to move the window on OBS and move it in real life. It's a whole thing. So now we've got to properties of null at Boxer. So there's probably a conflict here. Boxer 19. Find parent ID dot pen child object. Okay, so let's move this down a little bit. So base script 29. So we're doing some debugging now. This is what it's all about, right? Let's look at where the error is occurring. Boxer container character box. Okay, so it should be appending it to the container. However, it's saying, okay, so I think document construction may not be running. Give me a sec with this. Oh, I think I realize what's going on. So if we have lines that are not just definitions but statements like declarations, stuff's actually happening here, like things are changing here. Versus on functions, these are all just defined, and what's actually happening is when the functions are ran. We need to actually turn this into a function. So let's say function doc construct, and then we'll put everything inside here, and we'll tab it over. We'll make this an export function so that we can then run the function on the base script. So that's the important part. Import doc construct. And yes, so we do have to import something here. Let's just immediately run doc construct function here. So that should work. No. Document construction does not. Oh, so we didn't refresh. And there we go. Just as a quick safety check, yep, whenever your game breaks, it's always nice to get it working again. Okay, good experience there, and we're gonna move on back to base script, see what else we can remove. We got, all right, let's do, I know this is not a good way that you would organize your game. I'm just trying to clean up what we got so far. We'll do classes, right? You would obviously have a lot of different classes of different types. You wouldn't put them all in one script, but this class definition here, position, start to see the little organization going on. We'll go export, and don't forget to save it. All right, and then we'll have to either import it here, or we can do objects.js, and then we'll say base script, take these objects here, including the keys down. Boop. Ah, man, I do not like that. Okay, and then all these can be exports. Oh, not export, but exports. I'll just throw that little prefix in front of everything. Okay, but now we're running into a problem here. If we we refresh everything, right? Obviously we haven't imported very much stuff. Keys down is not defined. We're getting errors. Okay, so let's go into objects. Actually, no, let's do it like this. If we import now all our objects, keys down is the most important one. Objects.js. Position is not defined, so let's grab all of our... Oh, so we don't have these char position and box position. Ball position, rather. Ball position, yes. These don't really matter to us. We're getting this error now, position is not defined, in the objects script, okay? So let's look at this. Oh, what's the problem? Oh, position. We actually need to import position from classes, right? And then import position from classes. Okay, so this should all work as long as position is a valid export from classes. Yes. So you can kind of see the flow here and get into how you can debug, which is a valuable skill if you're coding. Things are going to go wrong and you can't always work according to plan. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab all these guys, put them in the document construction, right? Same diff. These are all going to be things happening there. Oh, but we don't have boxer defined. Okay, so we'll actually import boxer onto here. And then this begs the question, should we just move boxer over to here because it might be the only place it's being used? And that's where you get into, you know, your preferences with code. But this is an exportable function from the functions script. Imager is not defined, so let's grab that as well. Still works, okay. So our goal is to get everything out of base script. Can we add event? Can we add event listeners in here? I don't know, because I don't think it's gonna go to the right function. Yeah, I think we kind of have to do a new thing for events. .js. This is all preference, but this is, from my experience, a good way to do it. And you're gonna have a lot of different, you know, you can make a game with hundreds of different files. You could put every function in a different file. A lot of people, different languages are different, but I'm just gonna teach you my own style. So let's grab, let's see what happens here. Because you can kind of work from a debugging standpoint, or you can just try to do it in one go. You can do it wrong on purpose and then just follow the bugs. Key down is not defined. That's a good way to teach it as well. Okay, so we need to grab that function. Key down. See, these functions are dead within the base script. And we'll go. A lot of times, where were we? Events. A lot of times one thing will lead to another, if you know what I mean. We'll probably have to export these functions because I think the controls only actually work. Hold on. Wait, no, the exports don't matter if it's controls, right? Let's see. Key down is not defined. At where? Document construction. At what? Document construction 22. Oops. Okay, so we had that in the wrong spot. Now it works. And do our controls still work? Yes. Wait, you guys can't see. But yes, they do. Okay. Last but not least, right at the end here, base scripts. We just have this interval that's getting set. Okay. And that's fine. So the only things that happen are the document gets constructed and the interval gets set. Okay. And we can even clean it up a little more. We'll say boop. And we'll move all this to the interval.js. And we'll say function regular interval. Something like that, right? Paste all that in there, export it to the base script. Import regular interval. And we'll make sure we save the interval page. I don't know if we remembered to do that, but now all we have to do is run regular interval. Shoop. All right, and we're not actually using any of the objects. How does that work? Keys down is not defined. Oh. Okay, so we need to probably, yes, well, first of all, the ball position is functionally pointless. All these guys we already moved over. And these now we just need to switch to the interval document. And you'll get the hang of doing this easily as you're remodularizing everything. Set properties of undefined. Character box is undefined. Let's go back to base script. A regular interval 30. All right, we're almost out of the woodworks here. Oh, you guys can't see the error. See that? Cannot set properties of undefined. Setting left at interval 30, which is right here. Find character box dot style dot left. So character box is coming up undefined. Character box should be being made in the document construction. What seems to be the problem? Let's look over here. The body. There's nothing inside the body. Just this. Oh, here's the container. Yeah, here's the character box. What's the problem? What's the problem? Wait, is it the ball box? Which one is wrong? Hold on. Interval 30, 37. Interval 30. Which is the the character box is the only thing that's changing. Not set. Setting left of style. Okay, is there something wrong with the style of my character box? Style equals no. Left 10%. Char actor box. Wait a second. All right, let's go ahead and do a little test here. I think I know what might be going wrong. This interval is getting set. Doc should be getting constructed first. So within the document construction, we'll put a little tag, show first. It's supposed to happen first, right? We'll look at our console. Show is not defined. Okay, we'll go ahead and import show. Show. Oh my gosh, we're so close. We're so close here to finishing smoothly. But instead, you have to watch me break apart my code because I made some sort of stupid mistake. We're figuring it out together. First does happen first before any of the errors, so. Man. Boxer, container, character box. Like, I see character box here. Setting left. Oh, wait a second. I think I know what it is. This find here is not being imported. Silly me. So simple, but obviously, you expect to get an error like find is not defined or whatever. But instead what we're getting is like, it's not defining it here, and then it's trying to set the style of something weird. It's probably giving something here, and then it's giving that a style, and it's coming up with undefined, and then it's trying to give undefined dot left, right? And you can't really intuit that from this error, so you just got to get better at code to intuit that kind of stuff, or check around. Just a little bug fixing tip from not an expert, but someone with some experience. That being me, of course. Anyway, I've lost the ability to speak English here. That's always good, but in fact, we've removed all the errors, and we still have this first thing that we don't want. There we go. There we go. So now our basic script is cut down to, wow, super easy. It's literally just a start and an interval. And that makes a good game. You know, you could have an end or something, but really, most games, like in Unity, you have a start function, like in your own game engine. You have a start function and a function that just runs continuously. I forget what it's called. But you have to set everything up, and then you're in the game. And when the game's running, maybe it's called run. I don't know. Either way, we got our game split into all these different parts, so that will do it for this stupid little game here. We're going to move on to bigger and better things now that we know all the skills. Oh, have I lost control? What is happening? I swear I just want to go to bed. I can't control my guy. The keys don't work. Oh, you guys, I thought we fixed all the bugs. All right, let's see here. Got events. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So we never actually added these event listeners, so nothing's happening. Function eventer. Shoop. And we'll do this and that. And hopefully these controls will work. If we make this an export function. And so we'll have to add a little bit more to our basic script. Import eventer to kind of wake up the game. Oops. Import it just like that. And after we construct the document, we'll run eventer before we set that game interval. Please work. Moment of truth. No. Oh, but are we getting an error now? Yes. So that's helpful. Keys down is not defined at events. Oh, it's getting even more complicated. Wow, we made a more complicated game than we thought. Yep, so this keys down object needs to get imported. Is it being imported anywhere else? Objects. Export keys down. Anything importing the objects? No. Okay, so that's good. Let's go back to here and we'll just import keys down from objects.js. Oh, the interval is also importing keys down. So keys down is one of our important objects that is shared between different scripts. Will it work now? Yay! Hooray. All right, everything's functional. And once again, our basic script is, and in fact, yeah, anything that happens here has to happen on eventer. So what we could do is kind of sandwich eventer into doc construct here. And then we just need to take this out with Control X and put it also into doc construct. And I believe everything would remain the same. Yes. Still move our guy and turn him blue. How do we do that? Oh, drag and drop. I think you can actually, if you want scrolling in your game, you can remove this feature. It's kind of a weird advanced HTML thing, but I've gotten it to work before. So I'll show you how to do that eventually. But that's it. That is how you modulize your code and reduce your basic game into something very, very simple. And you can always organize it even more. Keep your sanity intact as you're working through a very long project. Very important stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and it taught you something. If you're still confused, leave a comment. If you really enjoyed and you want to keep watching, subscribe. There's a lot more cool stuff to come. So yeah, up next we're going to make our very own real game. Have a good day!